Your commissioner, he works from the toilet. He works from his bedroom. He works in front of his wife. And he puts it all together in his office. It's the league.
Oh yeah, that's a good mustache. Welcome everybody. Football is back. Good evening, good afternoon, whenever you guys are watching this. This is season 4 of the league. This year we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Instead of the text message or emails that are sent out week in and week out, I'm going to be broadcasting a video to recap and preview the weeks before and the weeks after. On today's show, we're going to be speaking with last year's champion and this year's highest draft score grade in Cody with the repeats. He's going to be talking about what he's been doing all off season, as well as brag about his draft a little bit. So just to give you guys a heads up, every week I'll be speaking with somebody. I'll speak with the highest point scorer. That way you guys can put your voice out there and brag or talk crap to whoever you want to. So that's exciting news. But we all know we had our draft last Thursday. Can't say that everybody should be happy about their drafts. But hey, I had a fun time. I had fun chatting in the chat box. I know Cody was attending to his farm, so he couldn't be on the chat box, but not all you guys wrote me back. Tanya, I was a little upset. I didn't understand what you were talking about half the time on that chat box. You're probably too busy doing something else or worrying about which New England Patriot you were going to draft. But hey, let's talk about that draft and the grades. We know Cody got the highest grade with an A-. Coming in with the B is Nick and his team, 2 Gregs and 1 Cup. He went wide receiver heavy. Of course he drafted Steelers. That's all he ever drafts, the Steelers. Next with the B draft is Mac. His team name is Rock Out With Your Lockout. He drafted Melvin Gordon. We don't even know if Melvin Gordon's going to play Mac, so there's something you can complain about for the rest of the year. Next with the B draft, we have the Mahomes. Team manager Colton, who took second place last year, he drafted Pat Mahomes again this year. Maybe he's going to have as good as a season as he did last year, but we'll see. Maybe the defense will know how to pick them apart this year. Either way, Colt got a B draft. Next with the B draft is my wife, Liz. Her team name is Show Me Your TDs. Now, I don't know if she knew Andrew Luck retired, but she drafted Marlon Mack and T.Y. Hilton from the Indianapolis Colts. Man, she better hope that Jacoby Brissett gets them the ball this year. Next with the B draft, what would Deshaun do? Team manager Sean. Come on, Sean. You drafted Ezekiel Elliott. That's a good pick most years, yes. But heck, we don't even know if he's going to play this year. You're playing your wife week 1, Sean. That's going to either hurt you, or if he signs, it's going to help you. But hey, you and your wife are going to be the marquee matchup in week 1. Now let's get into the C's. I myself had a C+ draft, the mustache. I'm happy with my team. I cannot complain. Next with the C draft is Tanya. Her team's Saved by Odell. She drafted a New England player by the name of N'Keal Harry. I don't even know who N'Keal Harry is. I hope she does, but I hope she realizes that he's on IR. That means he's probably not even going to play until week 6 at the earliest. Next with the C draft is Bryce. He took last place last year, and he had an A draft last year. But this year, he got a C. He drafted Austin Eckler. Maybe he foresaw Melvin Gordon sitting out, but hey, he just wants to get rid of that horse's ass trophy and that license plate cover. Bryce, I hope you watch your team this year, because last year you did a very poor job of doing that. And rounding out the last place, the last C in the draft, is the Shaken Bakers, Ashley. Ashley, I'm a little disappointed. I thought you were a Broncos fan, but it looks like you drafted 2 Kansas City Chiefs with your first 2 picks, in Travis Kelce and Damian Williams. As I'm making this video right now, I'm finding out that LaShady McCoy is now playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. You better hope that he doesn't take away points from your roster, because that's a valuable second spot that you filled. Anyway, that's the summary of the draft. We're going to go into week 1, but first, let's talk to last year's champion, Cody, and see what he has to say about his offseason and his draft.
Yeah. And joining me on the BNC Refuse Hotline, it's 2018 champion of Season 3 of the league, Cody himself, now the manager of the repeats. Cody, welcome to the program today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Pat. I'm doing good.
Good. How does it feel to be a champion for the last 6 months?
it feels good. This is your champion speaking. So, and it'll probably be a repeat this year. So,
hey, it's a small fraternity to be in. You, my brother, and yourself now are in that fraternity. We're about ready to kick off season 4 of the league, and we just had our draft the other night, and I think you feel pretty good about it, being you were the only one that scored an A on the draft.
Yeah, I feel good about it, but I would have been better with a C or D grade. They seem to do the best, and that's how I got my degree.
Well, hey, if it's anything like last year, I think Bryce had himself a hell of a draft and ended up taking last place by a lot. So, yeah, well, we'll hope that doesn't happen this year, but you never know. So what was the reasoning behind your new team name this year? Your new manager name? The repeats. Is that pretty obvious? Am I missing something?
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to call it like you see it, you're kind of putting a target on your back.
Yeah, we'll see how week 1 goes. And I might have to change it.
Yeah, and we'll get into week 1 here later. But what was your draft strategy? I know you had the overall number 1 pick. You went with Saquon Barkley. Did you have any other draft strategy?
It was either going to be him or McCaffrey. It was hard to pick.
Yeah, those two are beasts, and they put up some big numbers. I would have went with the Colorado guy myself, but I know.
It was tough. It was tough. It was hard not to pick him.
Yeah, I think that's
I try to get the two top running backs, the best ones I can.
Yeah, I got stuck with the 5th pick, and I hated the 5th pick. There's just nothing you can go off of. But hey, I think you'll have a good pick in Saquon Barkley. But then, what was your strategy after that? I know you went tight end for your 2nd pick, or did you go Todd Gurley your 2nd pick? It was either George Kittle or Todd Gurley. I can't remember.
No, I can't remember. I think it was.
I think if I'm going to.
I think it was Gurley. Was it Gurley? Or, I don't know. Or maybe it was Kittle.
Well, let's go here and take a look.
I can't remember now.
Hey, nobody can remember much after that, so we're just all hoping for the best. But you did running back heavy to start, and then you did the tight end. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good success story, if you ask me. And then you went wide receiver next.
Yeah.
So, what was your reasoning behind your wide receiver choices?
Well, with Williams, I was hoping with Phillip that they can get a lot of passing yards, a lot of connection. I'll try to pick up a wide receiver later in the picks, and hopefully it pans out. Kind of like Woods did for me last year.
Yeah, Woods was a beast for you last year, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm hoping Galladay with my later pick will kind of be the same.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is you got Galladay in your starting lineup, Mike Williams in your starting lineup, and it looks like you're using Allen Robinson as a flex. Is that set in stone for week 1, or you got anything up your sleeve for that?
I kind of went with I picked Detroit's defense at the last pick there, since they're going up against Arizona.
So you got Chicago. You got Chicago's defense with your 8th pick. But you're going to roll with Detroit week 1, huh?
I think I might against Kyler Murray.
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad pick.
I think he's going to get a little rattled.
That's not a bad pick. I questioned the 8th pick for a defense, but hey, Chicago's defense is pretty beastly. But I do have to ask you. So you went with 2 old balls for your quarterbacks, Drew Brees and Tom Brady. So I mean,
who I really wanted was Lamar Jackson.
I'd wanted Lamar Jackson. I think I got him, didn't I? I think I did.
Yeah, some jackass got him over me. I'm not sure who it was.
The mustache. You're speaking to the mustache.
Mustache.
Hey, we'll meet in one of these weeks, and you'll be missing Lamar Jackson. I went with the young blood. I feel like he has legs.
Yeah.
I
was hoping to get him.
Yeah, so you just got to hope that arthritis doesn't kick in for Tom Brady or Drew Brees this year.
I know.
5 years ago that'd be 2 killer quarterbacks. But hey, I'm not questioning you. Tom Brady always seems to pull something out of his hat. So
right.
And then your backup tight end. I've never heard of Mark Andrews. What made you go with Mark Andrews?
I was just doing some research right before the draft, and his name kind of came up as a.
Yeah. So you weren't just drinking Dale's Pale Ale and then decided, hey.
I was drinking.
Well, good. I had a couple pops myself. But, I don't know much about Mark Andrews, so maybe you know more than I do. So, hey.
I didn't know if he's white or black. He's a white guy. So.
Yeah, that's a tricky name for sure. It's hard to know. So, hey, we're going into week 1. You're facing off against Bryce, last year's loser and the holder of the Horse's Ass trophy.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe choice. If you were to not play Chicago, you're going up against Aaron Rodgers. So if Aaron Rodgers is to have a day, then your defense ain't scoring any points. So I can kind of see what your logic is behind that. But what do you want to say to the league going into week 1, coming off of a championship season and trying to defend your title?
No, I would just say, I'm not to be cocky, but I'm the best there is. And I don't only wake up piss excellence. I piss excellence all day long.
Well, you got it.
And good luck, I guess.
Yeah, I don't give anybody good luck, so that's nice of you to actually say that. But hey, we're coming into season 4 of the league. We're trying new things out this year. Cody, I appreciate your time this evening. It's going to be a fun year. I look forward to it. So,
all right, you look forward. You probably talk to me every week or so, every other week.
Well, yeah, that's the thing this year is the highest team, the highest scoring team gets to do an interview before the next week. So it gives everybody a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of a little bit of motivation, I should say.
Right.
So yeah, it'll make it fun. But hey, looking at the lineup this week against Bryce, it looks like you got a 3-point advantage going up on the percentage chart. So good luck to you this year, and we'll see what happens.
Sounds good. Thanks. Good luck to you.
That's a heck of an interview. I love Cody. Great guy. He just pisses me off with his fantasy football skills. Well, I taught him how to play fantasy football. Believe it or not, 3 years ago he didn't even know what a draft was, and now look at him. He's a champion. So congrats to you, but that's not going to last very long, buddy. So next, let's go into our week 1 preview. Exciting week. Marquee matchup this week, Tanya and Sean. It's going to be a household duel. I'm excited to see, but hey, let's take a look at that.
Our week 1 preview this week, we got a good one here for week 1. As you can see, the draft grades are on the right-hand side if you haven't seen your draft grades yet. But it's going to be the Mustache and myself versus 2 Gregs and 1 Cup. A battle of 2 tall human beings. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a good trash talk between me and Nick this week. I can't wait to see what happens in this one. Rock Out with Lockout versus the Shaken Bakers. This will be an interesting one. Mac versus Ashley. Mac, will he play Melvin Gordon and hope he plays? I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Your defending champion, the Repeats versus Chubby Chasers and Bryce. That's Cody versus Bryce here for a matchup. It's basically first last year versus last from last year. Next, we have Me Homies versus Show Me Your TDs. I think the big question here is whether or not Colton is going to get all that production out of Patrick Mahomes or not. It'll also be interesting to see whether or not Liz played her cards right with the luckless Indianapolis team with Marlon Mack and T.Y. Hilton. And in our marquee matchup, the battle between husband and wife, a battle of maybe for foot massages later in the week, Tanya and Saved by Odell versus what would Deshaun do in Sean's team. Let's take a look at that and see what we're going against here. So as I talked about earlier, it looks like Sean drafted Ezekiel Elliott. That's going to be a bummer for him if he doesn't play. When I'm trying to get this opened up here. But hey, this is bragging rights within the household until they meet again later down the road. Man, I don't know what is going on with my internet right here, but if we look at the projections, 123 to 125, it looks like these are two of the lower echelon teams this year. There we go. So we got Saved by Odell Tanya versus What Would Deshaun Do in Sean. Tanya's going to be going with Kyler Murray, it looks like, in the very first game of his NFL career. That'll be interesting if he can put up points. He's playing a difficult Detroit defense, so we'll see what happens. Sean, like I said, you don't have much to go off of. It looks like you have a bunch of Denver Broncos, so I can always respect a Denver Bronco player. But hey, it's going to be a difficult matchup. It's going to be difficult this week in your household, so I wish you all the best. The projections show pretty much 50-50, so we will see what happens. Good luck week 1, okay, guys?
Well, that's it, fellas. Boys and girls, NFL's back in swing. Hope you all have a good first week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Who's going to get the interview? Oh.